Good morning. My name is Curro, and I would like to ask you some questions about your life. I am a Spanish student, and I am studying English. So, could you speak slowly, please?
Okay.
What's your name?
So my name is Katja. Katja ASHENBRENNER.
Where and when were you born?
I was born on June 21st, 1974, in a city called Jena. It's like 2.5 hours south of Berlin.
And so you were a teenager when the wall fell?
Pardon?
You were a teenager when the wall fell?
Where I was at the night?
Teenager.
Were you a teenager?
Yes, I was. When the wall fell in November 1989, I was 15 years old.
Could you describe?
Was your city in the east side or in the,
east side?
The east side.
So it's Jena is in East Germany.
How was your city?
Jena is spelled J-E-N-A.
How was your city?
Oh, actually, when I was born there, but I lived in a very small town which is called Klingenthal. So it's more like a village that I grew up at.
Could you describe your childhood during that period?
Well, I was already a teenager, and of course we had the regular interests teenagers have, but of course it was more restricted than in a free country. So, for instance, we were not allowed to travel outside into Western countries. So we were not allowed to travel into West Germany. Like, we could not have come to this place where we are right now, and we were only allowed to travel to some Eastern communistic countries. And also, like at school, we were not allowed to say everything we wanted to say, so it was all restricted. Also, there was not some certain food was not there. We couldn't buy, like you couldn't buy certain fruits. Like you could never really buy bananas or oranges. And
do you know about any case of kidnapped, tortured, or killed children at that time?
No, I think these. No, I don't know any case of kidnapped children, but I know cases where people had to go to prison for political reasons. Like even my own uncle, when he was almost 18, he was 17 years old. He tried to cross the border from Czechoslovakia to Austria, and then he was caught, and then he had to go to prison for 1 year.
1 year.
To a Stasi prison?
Right. It was like it was for young people, but it was very, very cruel prison. So it was really, for him, it was a very shaping experience for his life. And afterwards, he was not allowed to go to university. For instance, he was very good in school, but then he was not allowed to go to university, and so it really he was really discriminated as well as his parents.
Could you add some more positive or negative memories about the DDR?
For example, university, your experiences.
Like good and bad experiences?
Positive memories of your childhood?
Well, there are of course a lot of positive memories of my childhood also, because as kids some things you don't realize. So we also went to dances as young people, or we had a lot of fun. But well, of course you could not. What we suffered mostly from is, I guess, that we couldn't say what we wanted to say, everything in school. So you had always to be precautious, so not to say certain things about political issues.
You were afraid of the punishment?
Right. You were afraid of punishment. They could kick you out of school, or they could punish your parents. Also, for instance, you could only go to like for a high school diploma or for A level, you could there were only 2 kids out of each class could go to the higher schools to have like an Abitur or A level, and you had to be really precautious. If you said the wrong things, you could even have the best grades, but they wouldn't let you go for to get a high school diploma, for instance.
What were you doing the day the wall fell?
What I was doing that day?
The wall fell down.
Right, when the wall fell down, I was actually together with a bunch of young kids. We were like a group, and we were outside, and then somebody said that the wall was down, and I went home, and then we saw it on TV. It was really, really, really weird, because we couldn't believe what they said, that the wall,
So
you could travel now, and the wall was open.
You celebrated it?
We celebrate, yeah. Well, at first it was more like you couldn't believe it, but then it was a big celebration, of course. Yeah.
And what did you work on after the wall fell?
She was very young.
When the wall fell down, I was in 9th grade, so I did some more school, but like 91, 92, I went for an exchange here to the United States, which would never have been possible if the wall would not have come down.
Did you study at the university?
Yes, but this was all then possible because the wall was down. I studied medicine.
Did you finish it?
Yes, I studied medicine and finished
So,
it.
when you said, there wasn't any problem.
No, because the wall had come down. But before, it could have been a problem. That I could not have studied what I wanted to, or could not even have studied, because it was only people who were like communistic, and my family was not communistic. They could always go to university.
Did someone in your family do military service?
Well, everybody had to do military service. But I only have a sister, and my father was already too old. So then, but every young man had to go to the army, and if you wanted to go to university, you had to go for 3 years to the army. Only if you had gone 3 years to the army, you could go to university.
Regarding about your family, did you lose any relatives in the DDR period?
Did you lose any relatives in the DDR period because of, for example, Stasi or political?
No, not lose, but this is also not very common too, that people were really killed. I mean, there were people killed, people who actually did cross the border, they were shot, but we had this, as I said, my uncle who had to go to prison, which was all a big issue.
What did religion mean for your family?
Religion was not very common in the former GDR, so I was also not raised with a religion.
What will you tell the teenagers to avoid the repetition of the period, of this period?
The GDR period. What would
Taboo?
you tell? What would you
my
tell
kids?
your kids?
What did I tell you? Well, I tell them things like I already said, that things were more restricted and you couldn't travel, and you had to be really aware of what you said, and that was a much smaller world for us, and it was all only communistic thinking was the right thinking, and
Have you get something else to add?
I didn't understand.
Something else?
Do you have anything else to add? Any experience that you want to tell us?
About the GDR. Well, for me it was just the right time that the wall came down. I was 15, and from 15 on my life, or from 18 on, my life would have been very restricted in the GDR. But since the wall came down, I went to the US for 1 year, and I could travel, I could go to university. So for me it was a big thing, big liberation, that everything was over and I could have a regular life. And now I live in West Berlin, which would not have been possible. And I have a husband from Munich, from West Germany, which I would never have met him before because we could not cross borders, and so I have 3 kids which I wouldn't have with him. So yeah. So the wall did really influence, the wall coming down of the wall did really influence my whole life.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you for your time and have a great day.
You're very welcome. Have a nice
So thank you very much for your time and your experiences.
You're welcome.
Wait.
Nice to meet you.